I want to cut back to a little bit in your past. So you used to work for a larger impact investing fund. And I'm wondering if you could just recap sort of the moment you realized that that wasn't for you and you wanted to take a different path.
Yes, actually, it was not an impact fund. It was a regular traditional fund, was quantitatively managed. I was working for an investment management firm that was very well run, was behaving ethically and professionally, so was actually a good outfit, and I was very happy to be there. We were managing about $20 billion in emerging markets equities, and most of our clients were endowments and foundations. And I remember the moment where I had my come to Jesus moment, I guess, was when I looked at some of the best performing stocks in the portfolio, and those were palm oil companies producing palm oil for mostly the biofuel industry, which was considered so sustainable and such a great alternative to fossil fuels. And those companies basically had destroyed many thousands of acres of rainforest in the Borneo, and destroyed, in fact, the habitat of the orangutan. And I found it so hard to reconcile both my love for nature, my passion for the outdoors, and my support for those environmental foundations that were trying to address problems like habitat destruction for species and so on, and then finding myself managing the same foundation's money and that being invested in the very companies that were destroying the habitat those foundations were created to protect. And realizing at that point that everybody was doing their job. We were delivering great returns. The chief investment officer of this environmental foundation picked the best performing manager, and they were very happy with us. And nevertheless, if you look at the big picture, money that was set aside to do good ended up destroying the very things that it was trying to protect. And that was my moment when I said, I can't really be part of this. I can't participate in this. And so I had to leave my job. And it was a great job, and it was glamorous, and it was well paid, but I felt I couldn't really continue being part of that.
Yeah. And so what did that look like when you left? You quit, and then how did that turn into where you are now? Did you sit down and write a manifesto, or did you ever consider going back to a fund? Or
well, that's very funny, because I basically then started doing. I took a class in permaculture, and I started connecting with the transition movement, and started to really look at the large systems. I figured finance was a large system that was providing certain incentive and was structured in a certain way. And I think at the end of the day was leading us to collective actions that were self-destructive in the long run. And so I ended up looking at the financial system a little bit more deeply. And then I realized that was behind, to a certain extent, the financial crisis, the economic crisis we were still under. So I took a closer look at the economic system and realized, those are the design features that makes it so dangerous and so unsustainable. And in order to understand that, you actually need to understand money and banking. And so I ended up developing this series of talks. At the beginning, I thought for activists, and I called that Essential Knowledge for Transition, coming out of the transition movement, to understand how the economic system, money and banking, and the finance system worked. And then I connected to slow money, so that was a surprise, because I thought I would not engage with finance anymore, but slow money I could really relate to, and I've been very active with that. And lately I've been developing a workshop for people to learn how to do local investing. Cool. So that's kind of my path.
That's the path. Yeah, no, that's great. And you'll be joining us at ComCap 16 in April with a bunch of other people who are really into this local investing all across the US.